Hello everybody, my name is Tyler, and today I'm going to be coming at you with another episode of Shapes.io. So as you can see, I just created a duplicate save file. I wanted to mess around with a couple of things, but I'm still going to continue with the one that we've been doing. As you see, it's also been a couple of days, but that's okay. So let's see where we're at right now. Okay, so we're producing plenty of these shapes, and they're getting delivered back to the hub. So right now it's just going to be a matter of time before we actually complete this goal. And at 600 minutes, that'll be about an episode that it'll take, unless I decided I wanted to try and further bolster this production. But let's see, because we're also making only 234 of those, so it might be worth it. In the save file I've been doing outside of this, I think it's a good idea, honestly, to just have a good stockpile of these. Because even while you're building and not copying and pasting, you can still build it up and then, you know, more easily move sections of your base. The way I have the other one set up right now is I have my hub here. Literally everything so far, just straight on down the list, is being produced from just like lines and lines of things from here to here, and that because of how I've been setting it up, like you've seen me do with all this, I can just pretty much always be always expand it out as long as I just make the input have enough saturation. And obviously when we upgrade the belts and all sorts of stuff like that, it'll be even better. So for today's episode, I think it might be a good idea to try and increase some of the production that we're lacking a little bit on in the other areas. So let's see. So like I said, this one is one of our more important ones, and we're only making 240. Let's see if I can find where that's coming from. So further north. Right, so as you see, we've got plenty of circles. Yeah, so right now the issue we're running into is, and something I ran into an issue with when I was making the production in the first place, was this line specifically. So follow this back on over here, and I was like, obviously this can keep up with what's being made here, but this we need to make more of. So we got plenty of so I guess the issue is that I just need to be producing just more of these intermediate products. So I'll just go ahead and go like this. Make sure that we connect on over, so it goes like that. And 1, 2. Connect up all of our stuff, and there you go. So that's at least made us make a little bit more. And I bet you I can see how many we're making here now. Yes, now we're already making, obviously I didn't check beforehand how much we were making, but that jumped up quite a bit. So now we're making 480 a minute, which means we're making 348 of those a minute, which is going to be pretty good. So now that we're making more of this, however, you'll see that we're already losing out on some of the throughput for that. So let's go ahead and connect these back up. So hopefully we're making just even a little bit more of our half circles. And there we go. Cool. So, and as you see, this is already actually backed up because these are not making enough. So we'll go ahead and just do the same thing we just did. Go and copy here, put you like that, and then make sure that that's fine. Go, and like that. And then we'll make sure that we hook all of those up, and complete our full connections, and there we go. And so as you see, just like that, this belt is now saturated, and we can just move on to doing the same thing yet again. We need that, then we can bring this on over, this on over, and obviously we will go back and connect these. There we go. Cool. And like I said, you can see that right now we've currently still got full saturation and we're making quite a bit more. We're now up to 402 a minute, which has roughly doubled. Now, let's go ahead and build ourselves some more of the make sure we got that, and there we go. Now obviously we could benefit from making more white circles or creating a dedicated supply chain for white circles for this and then the white circles for the square one. Obviously I think right now that's going to be our biggest stranglehold on this end, but hopefully if we produce enough of these, this will start backing up, or well, I was thinking that it might, but it very quickly did not, but that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, I got space for some more white circle production, so let's go ahead and we're going to copy just straight from the center here. I think we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think what we can actually do is change the direction of everything through here. And go ahead and do that and that. And go ahead and connect this. And just like, we'll go ahead and connect that like that, that like that. There it goes. Now we're making more circles already. Make sure that that's connected up, and what we really need to do is just switch the direction of these boys. And as you'll notice, just over this short period of time, we're already at 6.3 thousand for those, so before you know it, we will be on to the next part. Oh no, that's not what I want, obviously. We need another paint mixer. That is one thing I've noticed, is every now and again when you copy stuff over, it just likes to not copy everything properly, which obviously is not what you want if you're trying to build things and you end up mixing the products. Because as you notice right there, it was just giving me white paint, which is not what I wanted. But that is okay because it's an easy enough fix. What you can do is you can either just delete the belts and then that's fine. What's going on up here? What? Oh, we're producing... okay. That's right, we need the trash cans there because that'll become an issue. This is probably why I should switch over to just using normal squares to then turn into the top lefts, but let's just see how this works. Because obviously that limits the amount of half circles that I'm making, but yeah, so that's already catching up. Yeah, so on my other save file, I did actually end up completing this level, so we get the storage buffer, and then at 15, we actually get quad cutting, which I haven't unlocked it. However, I assume that it's pretty self-explanatory. It should cut into the 4 quadrants, which means for situations like this, where I'm like, I want the top left corners, instead of doing this song and dance where I cut and then I cut again and then things back up, I could just take one square, cut it into 4ths, and then just rotate as I need it, and then I would have everything in the right orientation, and then nothing to worry about. So obviously, like I said, the issue we run into is that we're producing a lot of squares, but if we end up producing the halves, we end up producing too much. So maybe we can try this and just see if it makes a difference. Because if we can just delete any squares that we don't need, we should still be able to keep this built up, but then that might work, I think. For granted, now we're producing less of corners, we obviously don't want, but what if we... Oh, you know what? This might actually be a use case for the storage buffer, which is what we unlock at level 14. It mentions something about using it for like surplus storage, or like so maybe in situations like this where we're just producing so many, but see, yeah, we've already caught back over here though. So you know what? What if instead we do this? We'll connect you there, and then we'll have another splitter where if it starts to back up, it'll just crash any of the excess. That way we're still always constantly producing the squares, but obviously I could probably upgrade the number of these boys over here, but I think this might be the best solution for right now. Just because it makes sure that we don't... but now it's going to throttle here because it's splitting back to back, and then... Okay, so let's scrap that. What I think is going to be a better situation is if we just stop relying on this for if we stop relying on this entirely for the squares and we just cut these instead. So let's get setting that up. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be our best shot. So go over here and we're going to split. Make sure that we're cutting it into halves like that, and then we rotate you this way, you that way, and we'll merge them. No, we will... Oh no, actually I just set them both to be the same way, so that's fine. We can merge them back together, and then do the same thing again. I think what we might want to do is just go down like this, give yourself a little bit of space, come back over, and actually, you know what, let's go ahead and just do this, so that way everything can just root back up here, and we'll just use tunneling to go underneath of our original production, and we will meet back up and line it up with over here. And because I did that, you can just copy and paste, and there we go. So Actually no, I lied. We cannot copy and paste. We need to get them to be top left, so we need to rotate this one up to the right, and we need to rotate this one. And there we go. Now we can combine them together and rune back over here. And what we can do over here instead is we can just replace all of this. Delete you, delete, 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 place this tunnel, and we'll delete all of this, all of this. Oh no, wait, I did not want to delete that because we still need to be producing the proper shapes, or we still need to be pushing this through. But now I can just replace these with trash cans, and that go like that, and keep going on through for here. And now we just take our squares, come back on up here, and we just replace it, and there we go. So now we should always be producing our half circles and making sure that we're always producing squares, and because we can go ahead and bolster this production some more, just that way we're not, you know, wasting anything. Oh, I need to move. Oh yeah, actually that works. 1, 2, and we'll move the squares, and just kidding, I need different spacing on this. So let's just go ahead and get the spacing right in the first place. So those should all go like that. And then don't want this to be connected at all. We'll go and do this, and then connect, connect, and then now we can keep the train. So go ahead and just put this in so that way I can be lazy and just not replace it. Copy, paste. There we go. And like I said, just gotta watch out for when it doesn't actually do things right. Oh, that's why, because it didn't place that one, but there we go. And that should be more than enough because we're producing a lot more of these than we're actually making of this, but that is fine. Alright, so this is good. So now if we wanted to, we could actually just get rid of this and just have it be connected like that. That should be a little bit faster on that end. And then slowly but surely you'll see that we're making more and more. And I believe, yes, so we've got even better tunnels. So now if we want, we can bring everything over here and build ourselves some more of these. So copy and paste and paste. And then we use another good tunnel like that, and there we go. Cool. As you see, obviously our issue is still just going to be these corner pieces, just because we're splitting so many times. But, you know, it is what it is. We will eventually get to where we want to be, but hopefully we're producing... Ooh, I hate that. So we're producing a little bit more now. Oh, I bet you. Yep. We can only do so many because now we have enough production that both are getting backed up because we're combining them together instead of delivering them separately. So, let's go ahead and I wonder if we'll get something that'll help us with this in the future, because obviously the big issue that we keep running into is we're producing more than what our belts can actually, or what our distributors can actually like put together. So it might be worth it to maybe connect like the purple square over here, or maybe if we can find one that we have like a good surplus of. Like obviously my circles, I got 30,000 circles in the bank, but do I really, I was like, am I ever going to really catch up to that in the next few levels? I'm not sure whether or not that's actually the case, but I think for right now, it's fine, because these are actually working towards a goal, which even though it's slowed down a little bit, we'll eventually get there, as long as we just focus on doing other stuff. And then this is just really good because we're already going to have a stockpile. We're probably not going to end up using more than we're making anyways. So I'll leave it at that for right now. So this is doing well anyways, because I think we're still making quite a bit. Yeah, 642, pretty good. So before you know it, we'll have all this stuff be faster, and that'll actually help us a little bit with our distributor that's causing this to slow down and have a slower production of this and the clipboard material, but that's fine. How many of these? We're only making that's also probably coming down to the same problem. So at least we know that we're always making all of these, so it might be worth it just to try and make these ones now. Just because we still want to try and make things just faster and faster and faster. Obviously we're producing white circles here, which we're going to need for both of these. And we've got a little bit of a surplus of the white dye, but we might want to do... Sorry, accidentally hit escape. We might want to try and do some work on figuring out if we should set up a new production line for circles, and then we can split those that way, because what, right now we're splitting it between yeah, both the purple squares and the blue clipboard ones. Do we have any circles nearby? Ooh, if we want, we can go ahead and get started on... here we go. And I think it's interesting that it's a variant of the trash, so we can sort items up to a given capacity. So, and now you'll see that our goal changed here, but also you can actually stack at least 3 shapes, maybe more. If I get the chance, I'll try and provide a link. The creator of this game actually set up an online tool so you can make custom shapes, which honestly is pretty cool in my opinion. There's a lot of really... It's very simple, but it's very cool that each shape in like each quadrant has a letter combination that corresponds. So like, for example, so this is like a purple circle, and they're done in like strings of 8. So it's like purple circle, purple circle, purple circle, purple circle, circle. And then for shapes that are stacked on top of each other, you could actually, it uses a colon to distinguish the base shape and then the shape that goes on top of that. So I just think it's really cool. Might show it off at some point just to kind of mess around with what you can actually make, but I'll try and put that in the description or leave a comment and let people be able to mess around with that if you happen to be watching this and interested in a little bit more of how it actually works. Putting stuff together and maybe seeing what you can make without having to go through the process of making each individual thing through here. So with that said, I think we're going to go ahead and make I think I want to try and make our cutting, rotating, and stacking. So we need red and we need white. Let's actually go ahead and pin it. We can unpin that and that since we've already gotten production set up for those. We need red, white, and then green star. So I think what might be a good idea is we can take circles, cut them in half, dye one half red, dye one half white, then rotate and cut again, add them, or I was like, and then add all 4 pieces back together again, and then we can just make the green stars at a separate point. So let's see if I can find good circle production, which I think will be good here, because we also got stars nearby. Stars are near green already, which definitely not going to complain about. So let's get started. And obviously there's a couple of different approaches that you could take for this. If you wanted, you could have, especially since it's broken up like this, you could dye one set of circles red, one set of circles white, and then make sure that you just combine back up later or whatnot. But I think we might be able to produce, actually, you know what, with that said, I'm going to do that. I think that might be a slightly better idea. So let's go ahead and this is where our red's going to start. So we need to draw red from here, which is probably the closest source. And one more thing I want to share. So like I said, this game's constantly being updated. One, if you hold shift while moving around, it moves much faster. And 2, if you're placing belts while you hold shift, it'll actually allow you to do what they call the belt planner. For granted, it only works like in 1 turn currently, but that's actually still pretty nice because I just go straight up, and since I'm not too worried about running into anything over here, I can just do that, and instead of placing each one individually, it just places it all at once and they'll just follow suit. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and we need to make sure our shape's in the proper location. So go and bring it like that. Bring you over here. Do our good old splitting. And actually, speaking of, I believe yes. So the painter now has 2 variants where it's actually you can mirror it. So now if I wanted, I don't have to always set it up like this. I could set it up with shapes at the bottom and then red on top, which actually I might do now. This was a recent addition to the game too, which is pretty nice because I'm assuming I'm not the only person that was like, well, now I need to always make sure I set it up the same way. I can just go like this, and then we just bring in color from the top, and it's the same effect. So now we're making red circles already. So we got you, and do this classic song and dance. Make sure that we're bringing it over. And now we can copy and paste. There we go. And if I was a little bit smarter, I would have just set these and then had the track accelerator going, but it is okay. That happens every now and again. So I think I'm going to go ahead and continue. We'll finish up with doing the diagonals like we need, so we'll come over here and make sure that we start cutting it. We've got ample room, so we'll go like that. Cut you both in half, and now we rotate. So this is going to be the left side, so we have the left side turn to the right, and we'll cut it, and then we have the top side to turn like that. And I think I cut all of them to tops. Okay, so just walking through my thought process right now, I think that I might want to do one half to be top, one half to be bottom, and then I can make sure that just everything is cut, and then it'll just be one rotation per side as opposed to having to do like 2 or whatever else to get it where I want it to be. So yeah, so we should probably just have both of them turn the same way. And now that we've got that going on, we can come down like this, and the real question is, do we have enough space? Because say I want to go like that, and then we bring our cutter, we have this and this, and we need right corner, so we just need to rotate like that, if I believe. Yeah. So we can do that, and then as long as we combine it, we can just go underground. Yeah, so let's go and tidy this up right quick. And we'll go ahead and bring you down like this, you down like that. You know what? No, I think that we're going to want to bring the product out, and then we can just do it on a separate line, so that way we're not constantly running into the issue where if we wanted to, or if we want to expand it, we have to do other weird stuff. So go like that, and because of this, actually, you know what? No, that's fine. We can bring you this way, and then we can just use this one to bring you this way. So go like that. Help if I could do like a straight line every now and again. Then if we want to continue, we just need to continue doing this. So I think we should be good to copy. I just need to get rid of that. And you like that. And you like that. There we go. And now if we come down like this, that should be working just fine. And now we're going to do a similar thing where we come down and we're going to cut these ones. Going like this. That. And so it's going to be left side. I'm going to rotate like that, and then we can combine these together because we want them to both be the same corner. And we'll bring it back on out over here. There we go. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing right here. Boom. Cut. And so that's left, and the left side's this corner, this one's this corner. That should go like that. Oh no, wait, sorry, I need bottom right corner. You need to rotate the other way. This one can stay the same because it's right, so we need to rotate this one. We need to rotate this one like that. There we go. Now we combine. Then we just go ahead and cut it back on over, and now we can just continue to copy and paste to keep making this production a little bit better. And since I built it like this, I can copy both at the same time and make it work, which is always nice because it saves me even more time. Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. Alright, so I think now that we've got the first step done, we completed the task for the level, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here, make sure I save. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it all the way through this, hopefully you can leave a like down below. Make sure that if you want to see more content in the future, go ahead and subscribe. And leave any comments if you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to see, any tips. I'm always down for trying to chat with more people and make my content better. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.